Hello everyone, Kimberly Olson back for another Goal Digger training that hopefully will set your soul on fire, because we're going to talk about how to level up your online presence. And this is not just for influencers. This is for anyone who wants to build the business of their dreams right on social media. There's not a better time in the history of marketing to be able to build a business online and do that. And I'm going to teach you how today. Okay. So I want to welcome you guys on. Comment below. Let me know if you want to attract your ideal avatar to you. I think it's actually a little crooked, which is kind of funny. Hashtag mom life. So when it comes to leveling up your online presence, how many of you would like to attract your ideal avatar to you? Okay, so attracting them to you through your content. This can be done. Are you still reaching out? Yes. Are you still following up? Yes. Are you still, nurturing people? Yes. But the ability to 10x your recruiting efforts, your new customer enrollment, really that attraction marketing is unbelievably available to you through these methods. Okay. All right. So I've got 5 steps for you, 5 different things that you can implement today. An avatar is when you think of that ideal person you want to work with. For me, here's an example. So when I got into direct network marketing and direct sales, I was working full time. I had 2 babies at home in diapers. My husband traveled and we didn't have any money. And all I wanted to do was quit my job and be home with my kids. Like, that's all I wanted. And I wanted us to have money. I didn't want to be living paycheck to paycheck. So my ideal avatar is someone just like that. A mom who's in corporate America who wants to quit, or at least scale back part-time, or a mom who's home with her babies and doesn't want to go back to work. That's my ideal avatar. So that's the person you have in mind that you want to work with. And it's really, really great because when you can get clear on who you want to work with and learn how to attract them through your content, you get to start working with people you actually want to be around. You know what I'm saying? There's sometimes when you're like, am I doing something wrong? Because everybody I'm talking to says they don't have any money. Yes, there is something that you could change. Okay. And this will help you out with that. All right, here we go. Number 1, give your profile a makeover. Okay, especially if you want to attract more business builders. People are stalking, meaning, let's say Allison's deciding, okay, she's like, I'd maybe like to work with Kimberly. And she comes over to my personal profile and it's like super janky, meaning, there's a Facebook cover where it's like showing this. It's just like so zoomed in and it's all blurry and there's no information about me. I haven't posted on my wall really. I mean, she's gonna be a little concerned, because if Allison's thinking about doing the business and she's gonna want to enroll with someone who's gonna be able to show her the way. The biggest hesitancy that people have when you're talking to them about joining your team is not necessarily the team or even network marketing. It's them wondering if they can do it. That was me when I started. I was like, I don't know if I can do this. Like all this network marketing stuff, like I can't just message people I don't know. Like that was what I thought it was. And then when I realized my upline could show me how, I was like, okay, I'm going to give it a try. So they're going to go to your wall and they're going to scout you out a little bit. Okay. So we want to give it a makeover. We want a great profile picture. You're smiling. None of this, like, what's it called when you're being sassy? There's a name for it. It's got like an acronym. None of that. Okay. We want warmth, unless that's like your thing, but we want warmth. We want you smiling. We want your eyes smiling. Headshot. Okay. Not you up on a mountain with your family 10,000 miles away and we can't see you. Okay. You brand yourself with your profile picture. Nice Facebook cover. The description's filled out. We have, you work at Entrepreneur. There's some intel there and you're on your wall, okay? You're posting great content, which we'll talk about. Number 2, make sure people know what you do. This is another big mistake I see. Attraction marketing and curiosity doesn't mean that people don't know what you do. If they come to your wall and they're like, oh, her cute kids, and oh, look at her little chickens in her backyard. Oh, that recipe looks great. But they don't know that you're actually an entrepreneur or a network marketer, or you lead a team, or you help other moms escape the 9-to-5. Like if they don't know anything about you, that seed isn't going to be planted at all from them checking out your profile and engaging with it. So we want people to know what you do. Okay, you don't have to say the company name or any of that, but we do want to know what you do. Okay, look at other people's profiles to get ideas of what that looks like. Never copy, just get inspiration. Okay. So we want to make sure people know what you do. Number 3 is we want to share 80% value on your wall. 80% value. We want to build up that know, like, and trust factor. So what this looks like is and we teach this inside of Goal Digger University. What we want your content to look like is we want some strategy around it. We want some themes in your content, whether it's personal, so selfies, you and your kids, your family, you and your spouse. We also want to see inspiration in there, maybe some quotes. We want to see your product, but we don't want to see your product, meaning we want to see some curiosity around your products, not a picture of your, ooh, buy my stuff, not that. Okay, that's not going to work. What we want to see is maybe you holding a cup, talking about the product inside, or you have a little capsule saying, oh my gosh, I dropped 8 pounds with this thing this last week. That's cool. That's curiosity. That could be some of the content you're showing up. If you are in the health and wellness space, you sell supplements, we want to see health and wellness on your profile in your content. We want to see recipes, or maybe there's a picture of you walking and smiling, going for a great walk today, get some fresh air, calms your heart rate. Or maybe we're going to see some tips on how to have glowing skin this spring. So think of different ways that you can work that in through your content. So you're going to want to, plan that out a little bit, but we want 80% value. People come to social media to connect, to be inspired, to be educated, to be entertained. They don't want to be sold to. So I want you guys to do audits. This is your homework. I want you guys to do audits. And I want you to pretend I'm coming to your profile. What would I say? When I look at your content, how much of it is value-based, where you're helping people either have a better life or save time, save money, something around what your specialty is, and how much of it is selling? Join my team for $1, that kind of thing. Okay? Kind of get rid of that. Okay, so we want to share 80% value on your wall. Number 4, tell them how they can learn more. How can they get in touch with you? If you have a freebie, is there a call to action on your wall somewhere? Mine and Facebook cover on my wall says, get my free Trello board here. You also have a featured photo spot that you can put a call to action there. Join my group. You could put in the little description below your cover. It could say, hey, get weekly tips and tricks inside my, or click here, and you can put the link right there. Get weekly tips and tricks here. Join a community of other Boss Babe mamas. You could also put the link, maybe a link tree, milkshake I'm just learning about. We use Search My Social. You could put that link in your bio. Where it says your bio, there's a spot for one website link. You could put your link there and give them a call to action. Click here to get my favorite tips on being awesome. How can they do business with you? How can they get in your world? Get onto your email list. Get onto your texting service. Get into your Facebook group. How can they learn more? Don't put your company website on there. That's not what we're talking about, okay? Tell them how they can learn more. Number 5 is to show up consistently. This is very, very important. And when I think about all the things I see that I'm like, oh, if they would just do this, it would change everything for them. It is the consistency. And what I'm seeing a lot of is stop, go, stop, go. So maybe right now your team is having a good month. You're like, yes, this is going to be awesome. March finishes strong. And you start April off, and that excitement is kind of worn off because everyone started at 0. And it's just kind of like, oh, we got Easter. Easter comes and goes. You kind of get distracted with that. Some of you had spring break, and you're kind of getting a little off track. And then you're like, oh man, like that momentum, I kind of lost the momentum, shoot, and then you just sort of take your foot off the gas and everything just sort of goes down. And then you're like, maybe you see a training, maybe you listen to a podcast, maybe your upline reaches out with some cool contest and you're like, I'm going to go for that. Well, then we shift gears and we start putting our foot on the pedal again and we start going again, which is great. But instead of being at 50 going to 70, we're at 20 going to 30. And it just feels like an uphill battle. And then we're thinking, what am I doing wrong? Like, why am I not growing my team or my personal sales or my income? It's because of the stop, go epidemic. It's like a thing, okay? So I'm going to challenge you to not take your foot off the gas, put your head down and work really hard for 90 days. Really hard for 90 days. It's about that 90-day mark. Sometimes it's sooner, but it's around the 90-day mark where you will start to reap the rewards. And it is just like that garden. We just planted our garden for this season. There's just some little bit of green, little leaves and whatnot. We're not seeing the tomatoes. We're not seeing the cucumbers or the squash or any of that yet, or the basil, which is my favorite. We're not seeing any of that yet. If I walked out there tomorrow and I'm like, freaking garden, where are my plants or where's my vegetables? Nobody would do that, right? It's going to take a minute, right? We need some good rain and we need to water it, especially in Texas. It's going to take a minute. But then when it comes to our business, we work really hard for a week and then we're like, where's my money? But what we want to do is we want to stay the course. We want to start thinking about long-term building. We want to think about building that legacy. And even for you, if it's like, well, all I want to do is pay our car note. Awesome. Could you imagine your side hustle, paying your car note and eventually paying it off? How good would that feel? Or throwing $1,000 at your mortgage every month? Yeah, that's awesome. That's amazing. But you're not going to be able to do that consistently if you're not consistent. The other thing too, with your online presence, I hate to say it, but if you're on consistently and then suddenly you ghost your account, you're like, oh, I just need a break, then hire a VA and have them post for you. You'd be better off doing that. But if you're doing that whole thing, like, oh, I'm just so tired, or I forgot, you will lose the know, like, and trust factor that you work so hard to build, because people won't see you on there. And then someone else is filling that space. Someone else is popping to the top of the feed or in their stories, not you. And it hurts your algorithm. So then when you come back a couple weeks later, you kind of fell to the bottom, foot off the gas, and now you're pushing that boulder back uphill, trying to get back in the top of the newsfeed. You see how silly it is? So if we just look at it objectively, like professionals, level up professionally, our online presence as online marketing rock stars, then we will start to see, oh my goodness, this is gaining traction. This is gaining momentum. I have more people watching my stories and getting on my lives and joining my Facebook group. And then it's all going to work together, okay? When you show up consistently and you become known for something, and I'll leave you with this, guys, you got to be known for something. This is so crazy. I just heard this at church yesterday and it stuck with me ever since. Not that it was that long ago, but I have ADD, so it's easy for me just to move on to things. But he said, when he was 13 years old, his name is Mac. When Mac was 13 years old, the pastor at his church had just done a funeral in the man. And everyone said this man was very well loved. Everyone loved him. And the pastor said to Mac, who was 13, who's kind of mentoring him, he said, oh, that's a shame. That's a real shame. And Mac said, what? Why is it a shame that everybody loved him? He goes, if you don't have any enemies, then that means you don't stand for anything. You're better off standing for something and having a voice and having conviction and having some enemies. I mean, if you stand for something, there's always going to be someone who doesn't agree with that. So with your online presence, I want you to think about, what is it that you stand for? What do you believe in? What convictions do you have? What passion do you have? It might be, you're raising some kiddos and you're super passionate about clean living. You're like, let me show you these oils, right? You're not like, oh, look at my oils. Here's my coat. Here, buy some oils from me. You're like, no, it's oil time. I'm so excited to share with you. Did you know if you put a drop of mint in your coffee grounds, because I like pre-grind, I have mine pre-ground because I do decaf. It tastes amazing. Put a drop of peppermint oil in your coffee. That's fun, right? That's absolutely fun. But if people start to think of you as like the oil lady, that's not a bad thing. You're going to work in some other stuff too, right? Maybe some herbs and some, cool other things that you like to do naturally. Maybe some awesome, clean, healthy recipes. That's awesome. We want to round that out a little bit, but become known for something. When someone thinks of your name, what do they think? That's the biggest question. And that's the thing people don't know. And they struggle with it. And they're like, I don't know. I don't know what I am. I don't know what I have to offer. I don't know what people think of me. That's a self-image and a self-esteem issue. I just did a podcast on that. I recorded it last night. So make sure you're subscribed to the podcast because it's coming. But when you become known for something, then you will level up your online presence. People are drawn to conviction. They're looking for the alpha dog in the room. Be the alpha dog. Stand for something. Let it show up on your social media with the intention to serve and offer value to others, and you just can't go wrong. Okay. So thanks for being on. Until next time, get laid in your business and set your soul on fire. We'll see you soon.